สวัสดีครับ Hi there, you are watching Dr. Green channel. Today we are going to talk about how to buy stabilizer. Because if you buy the right stabilizer, it can provide the good ROI. So that means once you buy the right or the proper or the suitable stabilizer, then it can bring the good ROI value or the return on the investment value to you. But in the other way around, if you buy the not good stabilizer or the stabilizer that cannot support your application or the use case, then it is similar to you lost the money, right? And also if you are looking for the good stabilizer, so Dr. Green also have 20K and the 30 kVA, which the output is very reliable and very stable. For example, like 220 volts plus minus only 1%. So the output which is only 220 volts and plus minus 1% is very superior design and provide very good and very high efficiency if you are looking into the design of the stabilizer. So this considered as the best-in-class stabilizer which you can deploy in your sites or at your home or any places for the projects. So let's talk about the good stabilizer. Why does the efficiency of the stabilizer matter, and why this cost you lost the money? Because there is the case where we found the customer who brought the stabilizer and found out that once the voltage dropped down to 140 volts, this is the example that we found from our customer, and they have shared the issue or the problem that they found on the other stabilizer, which is not our stabilizer. So once they replace with our stabilizer or they change to the good stabilizer, in this case we can call the stabilizer that has the proper design or has the superior design. So the good stabilizer, even the voltage drop down to 140 volts as the example. So this is the example of the technical specification. For example, the stabilizer can support the input voltage from the main line at 140 volts. It should be able to increase or adjust the voltage up to the committed value that written on the technical specification. So in this case, if for example, if the stabilizer is written and specific the output from the stabilizer as the 220 volt plus minus 1%, so it should be able to provide 100% of the capacity or near to 100% of the capacity. For example, like 99.97 or 39 with the capacity. So it should not significantly drop, like 60% of the capacity is not available once the voltage drop down to 140 volts. So you should looking for the better option or the better design for the stabilizer. All right. So if you are seeing for the other input voltage value, for example, the voltage going to drop at 150 volts, but the improper or the non-proper design of the stabilizer, it will give you only 50% of the capacity, even it commit at 10 kVA, for example. So your capacity of the stabilizer will down or reduced by 50%. So for example, if you buy the stabilizer 10 kVA, so the after the voltage drop at 150 volts, the capacity is reduced only 50%, which is 5 kVA. So you consider you lost money already. All right. So this is another point where we need to carefully when choose the stabilizer in the market. So in this case, you're looking for the good design stabilizer. And with the characteristic of even the commit input voltage range mentioned on the specification, the capacity should be remain at the green line that is showing on the slide here. All right, so it should be showing as the green line on the graph, should not showing like the gray line like this. So this is the non-proper because it is unable to take the load or having provide the capacity as committed once the voltage drop. So this is consider your money loss once the voltage drop. So it should not be happen like this, right? So we can see the other case when the voltage dropped down to 190 volts, you lost 10% of the capacity, which should not be happen. And even the voltage, we got the high voltage or the over voltage at the 300 volts, the capacity should not drop by 40% or reduce to 60%. So this is not proper, and you should not having this situation once we have discussed or seeing this video, because you have known the concern, so you can carefully choose the stabilizer in the market. And if the capacity loss, so we can consider the money lost somewhere, right? Once the capacity is dropped, once the voltage drop, because we buy the stabilizer to help us to maintain the voltage level for our loads, which we have designed the capacity, right? So that's why we buy the stabilizer with the certain capacity. For example, like the load at home is 10 kVA, so we buy the stabilizer at the 10 kVA, for example, right? So in this case is very important for you, and very important, the key factor for you to choose the stabilizer. All right. So if in the case that stabilizer can work only 200 to 260 volts with the capacity as a commit, but outside of this range, outside of the green area, your capacity or the stabilizer capacity is dropped. It should not be happen like this if you buy the good stabilizer. So it is similar to the example in our life, like we brought the package or the SIM card for make a call. We buy 100 baht or 100 USD, but once we use the SIM card or the phone outside of the city, we can call only 40 USD, for example. So consider you lost 60 USD when you go out from the city or go out from the Bangkok. So it should not happen like this. So it is similar to the case that we share the example here. So the gray line here, it will drop once the voltage level is dropped. All right, so this is characteristic of the stabilizer in the market that having the issue with our customer, and we propose the stabilizer that working proper, have the superior design as same as showing in the green color here. So with the green color, the stabilizer will maintain or remain the certain capacity with committed, for example, like if you buy the 10 kVA stabilizer, so the capacity should be remain about 10 kVA at all time, not depends on how low the voltage drop. Okay, but if the voltage drop within the certain range in the technical specification, the capacity should be remain. The capacity should be consistent. All right. So let's see the example of the good stabilizer. So if you can remember the last page, we have mentioned. So on this page, we share again very clear that the good stabilizer that has the proper design should maintain the capacity, okay, as shown on the green line here. So with the green areas or the green line here is represent the capacity is committed. Doesn't matter how low the voltage drop or how high of the voltage is over or how over of the voltage when you face at the site or at your home or any place that you deploy the stabilizer. So we have the technical specification or some guide or to choose the good stabilizer or the proper stabilizer. For example, like the good stabilizer should give the consistent or commit capacity at least 99.9%. Okay, doesn't matter the how low of the voltage drop or the how high of the voltage exceed from the 220, for example. So even the voltage drop down to 140 volts, the capacity should be remain at 10 kVA, for example, or the capacity should be remain at 20 kVA or 30 kVA if you buy those size of the stabilizer. And again, if the voltage drop to 150 volts, the capacity of the stabilizer should be remain the same at 20K or 30 kVA as example. Or in the other way around, if the voltage is over up to 300 volts, the capacity should be remain the same as well. So in this case, in this green area, represent you don't lose any money. So we can consider this stabilizer can provide or deliver very good ROI to your business or your usage. All right. Give very good return on investment. Even we have very carefully look on the design and check on the TCO analysis, for example. So it will give you the good ROI value or return on the investment. And the good stabilizer should be able to manage all kinds of the load without any human intervention. All right. And the third one, the third point, the good stabilizer should use the natural cooling, not use the cooling fan. Because cooling fan or the fan is the moving part. Moving part cause the MTBF or the mean time between failure shorter. So the life of the stabilizer shorter. So don't rely on the fan. Okay. So the next one, the operating temperature of the good stabilizer should be about at least 80 degrees Celsius. About this temperature level, the stabilizer should be working very easy and have to support at least 80 degrees Celsius because this is the equipment to use with the electrical power. Okay, and you use it all the time, 24 hours, 7 days, all the times. So it should be designed with very high reliability to support the loads. Okay, and the next example of the good point or the good technical specification of the stabilizer is support the output voltage at 220 volts with the plus minus 1% only. Because with the plus minus 1%, it will be suitable for the medical application with the sound system application or in the laboratory applications or some other applications if you like to use very precise output voltage value. So we found our customer using all the cases across Thailand and also neighbor countries. Even in the industry, in the school, in the education segment, at home, or even the concert, or even the agriculture sector or agriculture industry. So in all segments in the market, our customer decide to choose the good stabilizer with give the example of those technical specification, and very important is the capacity should be remain the same as committed, for example as shown as the graph here. Okay, and in this picture I would like to give the example of the importance of the natural cooling stabilizer, because we find the telecom grade equipment, the military grade equipment, those kind of the equipment don't or try to avoid or use very less of the moving part. So the fan is the moving part. That's why we design our stabilizer without the fan can support the natural cooling, okay, and support very good range of the operating temperature. If you want details of the technical specification for working on particular opportunity, or want to check whether the stabilizer is proper for your use case or the applications or not, you can ask our team as well. So this is the example of the application. That's why we need to provide you very good stabilizer. So the stabilizer without the fan also can help you reduce the hidden cost, because fan once it turn, it will use the electricity. That's why we call that has the hidden cost. So if we analyze or making the TCO analysis or study on the total cost of the ownership, once you put the capital expenditure, the electricity that consumed by the cooling fan will cost in the operating expenditure. All right. So this is the small point, but we cannot ignore, because if you are sensitive to the price or sensitive to the cost, okay. So we come to the last page of the slide deck. So our discussion has been discussed so far. So I would like to summarize the key takeaway in the bulletin point here. So the first one, the best class stabilizer and should give you the consistent capacity, which is the exceptional performance of the automatic voltage stabilizer. And the people, the customer love our design, love our stabilizer, because once they buy even 20 kVA, 30 kVA, or in Thai language, we call 20 kVA หรือ 30 kVA, 20 kVA or 30 kVA, they can deploy with the committed capacity. So the capacity is not dropped. It doesn't drop. So once the capacity doesn't drop or is not dropped, you not lost the money. But in the other hand, if you buy the stabilizer that has the characteristic, when the voltage drop, the capacity is dropped by 60% or 50%, and able to work that in that capacity, it very short range of the voltage, you might need to consider, because that stabilizer won't bring you or give you the good ROI anyway. So if you still have chance, so you can choose the right stabilizer. Check with the suppliers, check with the sellers, whether it has some certain or example of the characteristic that we have given earlier or discussed earlier. Okay, And with the superior design and the comprehensive automatic voltage stabilizer, it should have the capability, the following capability. The first one is the sound feature or non-intervention by human. Because once you connect the load, right, it can be any kind of the load when you use the stabilizer at the site. For example, our customer use the stabilizer in the construction site, in the agriculture business, or in the factory, in the school, or at home. It can be every kind of the equipment or the appliances can be connected. So we might not have chance, or the owner of the business might not have time to check every time that the load will connect and ask the technician or the engineer to put the proper position of the switch for that particular load. All right, so the good stabilizer should be able to manage all kinds of the loads, or working automatically or 100% automatically stabilizer. Okay, and the next one, if you are looking for the stabilizer that is suitable for the medical or the sound system, or some application that is very sensitive to the voltage fluctuation, so you can choose the stabilizer that has the output voltage delivered to 220 volts plus minus 1%. 220 volts plus minus 1% is very important. Okay, and again, the capacity should not drop. This is very key factor that we have discussed on today's topic. And the next one is about the safety. So the insulation resistance should be more than 5 mega ohm. Okay, so the 5 mega ohm is very safe value. Is the safe, very good safety, and can prevent or protect you for any possible accident, okay, or any possible thing that can happen. So with the insulation resistance, we recommend to be at least 5 mega ohm. So carefully check on the technical specification as well for this point. The third point is the good stabilizer should has very good TCO. Okay, TCO saving come from the capital expenditure. Okay, with the cost of the stabilizer, it should not be significantly high, or the price jump from the other stabilizer in the market. For example, the stabilizer of Dr. Green, our price is very fair in the market and even very competitive. If you check around the stabilizer in the market, which has very good technical specification and very exceptional performance like our stabilizer. And even you are the budget predominant and very sensitive to the cost, this stabilizer sometimes even has better cost, better price than other stabilizer. So please carefully check not only the price and also the technical specification. So don't lose the money. Don't lose the money once you buy the stabilizer. Once the voltage drop, the money should not be lost. All right. And good stabilizer, if it can work at the committed capacity at the green line, the green area that we have shown earlier, so it can increase or give you very good productivity. Because sometimes when you have the overload, it can be also support that event, or even some high voltage coming. Okay, so it can has some other safety feature, for example, like too low voltage cut off, the too high voltage cut off, and high temperature cut off as well, and also the spike, the surge coming. Okay, these kind of the protection are available on our stabilizer. And once again, no more waste energy, no more waste money on the cooling fan. Okay? Because fan is the moving part, it can cause the single point, make the single point of failure for your stabilizer. Okay? And if you don't want to spend money along the time when you use the stabilizer, so don't use the stabilizer with the cooling fan because it can incur the OPEX along the time as it runs. Okay? And the last one, the last point but not least, is about the standard of the stabilizer, which you also need to consider. So with the safety certificate, with the quality, with the management certificate, all the things for the factory and for the process and for the safety information, those kind of the things. So the good stabilizer should be having these kind of characteristic or has to comply if we say as the engineer, right? So it should be comply with those specifications for both technical and for the commercial. So if you like this video, please give us the thumbs up, put the subscribe button, and share the video with your friends on the social media. And we are going to provide the good video to give more information or give the knowledge and sharing the good case like this that we got from the customer. So see you again in the next video. Thank you very much for watching. ขอบคุณครับ สวัสดีครับ